Hello everyone, good morning and good evening. Let us start the session. So everyone unmute yourself and let me know how to run the solution. What is the command? npm
Yeah, start.
start.
npm
Start.
Next, I need to open the solution. Where to open? How to open? Go to src folder. So can I open here itself? Yes, you can able to open here, but as a developer, you don't have to be work here now. So if you open these node modules and these files, node modules is in terms of close to the GB. So sometimes there can be a chance your Visual Studio can be slow. Okay, better to open src folder itself. Okay, so go here, type command code space dot. Code space dot means this is the command to open Visual Studio Code. Next, immediately close this one. But you are happy opening the two things now. Sometimes these are the common issues I'm getting from the student. Student is trying to run from here again. Sir, it is not working. It will not work. Okay. What we have discussed in yesterday's session, we are discussing about how to create a component and a functional component. Okay. So how to create a component? So how many types of what is a component? Types of component, how to create a component?
Functional component, class component.
Components are two types, functional and class component. How many types of what is a component?
Building blocks of React app.
So simply component is nothing but our building blocks of ReactJS application. Components are two types. What are those? Functional component and a class component. Okay, we have started with the functional component. How to create a functional component? What are the steps?
Create components folder.
Everyone, we need to be first to create a components folder. Why I need to create a components folder? Can I create outside? It will work? No.
It will work.
Okay. So just for the structure of application, maintain the application structure. That's it. Okay. So here we have created a simple JavaScript file. Our components are a simple JavaScript files, even though it is a function or a class component. Next, what is a function? A function is a logical unit, and the name of the function should be a camel case. But coming to the React.js, the function which is having the JSX code, the function should be capitalization. Nothing but a Pascal case. Okay. So try to give for the camel case and check it. What will happen? Okay. Next, what is mean by JavaScript? So always in our JavaScript, functions will be written a specific type of a data type. Okay. What are those? Either it can be primitive data type or non-primitive data type. But can I able to return HTML content? Yes, that is possible only in a React.js with the concept of JSX. Sir, where is my JSX? So as a developer, you cannot able to see this one. You are using the React.js now. As a user, you are the user for React.js and developing your application. So you are a one level of the developer, but you are the user for React.js application. You cannot able to see. Okay. Okay. Once this will be converted and load inside of our virtual DOM, where our virtual DOM will be created. Which is the place to create a virtual DOM? Which is the file?
The user details.
Index.js.
Index.js. Okay. So user details, our file. This user details will be loaded inside of app.js. This app.js will be hand over to the index.js. So ultimately virtual DOM will be prepared and sent back to your HTML. Sir, can I see the virtual DOM? No. Virtual DOM is nothing but the total componential data binding. Okay. So next, how many types of functions? What are those?
Errors function, lambda function.
8 types of functions are there.
Yes,
8
everyone
functions.
unmute yourself and let me know. Priya, 3, Himalaya, everyone. How many types of functions?
Array functions,
Go in order.
callback
For example, if
function.
you not go in order, I mean, not only now, any topic, if you go in order, you will never forget. Okay. So first, general functions are there. After, a function can able to have a
Parameters.
parameter, that is called parameterized function. Next, the function able to return
Returnable.
some data, so it is called returnable function. Next, a function without a name is called anonymous function. So those definitions I have not given up to from the anonymous. After anonymous, you are having the
Arrow.
arrow or lambda functions. After lambda or arrow functions, these arrow functions we are using as a callback functions.
Callback.
Next, generator function. Next,
Generator
self-invoking function. Okay, that is the what functions. Next, which is the syntax to bind an element? So what is the data binding and how many types of data bindings are there in ReactJS?
Only one type.
Let and cons where.
So only one type
Let
of
and
data binding.
expressions.
What are those? Expression data binding. So coming to the data binding, the representation of the data types is var, let, constant. Representation of the data type. Binding the data is by using the expression. Okay. So is that clear? Any questions from yesterday's session? Is that clear, right, everyone? Next. Okay. Are you clear with a function, parameter function, and returnable function? So let me convert this one as an anonymous function. Next. So general function, parameterized function. Okay. Next, take a heading. Returnable function. A function can be, so even though you are having the 8 different categories, so all these categories you can able to use as a combination. Okay, don't be think like 8 different can be the different. No. Okay, a normal function, if first you need to create a normal function, it able to have the parameter, and this function also able to return a data itself. A function return some data is called returnable function. So what is the syntax? Function is the keyword. Next, function name. Next, a keyword called return. So here you are going to be return. So what type of data? Data from primitive or non-primitive. Either primitive data or non-primitive data. Okay. So now see it, we are going to the real time. So today you are going to get a good real time examples. Next, anonymous function. So nothing but unknown function. For example, if I want to call any person by the name, I can able to call. So for example, somebody was joined in my meeting. If I don't know the name, for example, the person was joined with his mobile so and so iPhone 6 or else Galaxy or else so and so Poco, means nothing but what is the anonymous function. The function, but the person is there, but he's the anonymous person or not? because we don't know the name of that person, but still that is the person. Okay, anonymous function is nothing but a function without a name. Sir, function without a name is possible? Yes. Take it as syntax function, no name, nothing, direct data. So here you can able to return some return statement, logic statement, anything. Anonymous means anonymous persons are there in the session. Means the person, if I don't know, they may change joined with some their phone name or laptop name, Lenovo, Dell, iPad, so on so. In that case, the person will be anonymous. Okay, here also here also a function without a name. Can I test it? Can I go and explain? Yes. Okay, see here. This is the normal function now. Let me remove the name. Now this is my anonymous function. But the anonymous function also should be called somewhere else. Yes. The anonymous function also should be called somewhere else. Yes. So please try to be focused. Same function I am going to be convert. So let me take a screenshot. So at the end, I will compare this code with the different code. That's why. So function without a name. Now it is anonymous function. If it is an anonymous function, how can I able to call? For example, a person is joined with a name without a space. For example, he can't able to give the space in his name, and if I see some space, so instead of that one, he can able to join with some Poco, Galaxy, iPhone. So then I need to ask somebody joined with a Galaxy, may I know your name, please. Okay. So here also, even though it is anonymous function, it has to be represent something else. So in this situation, we are going to be assign anonymous function to a variable. So now this is the variable. So this is the function and the function structure. But I need to call this function. That's why I assign this information to a variable. This anonymous function also called as variable function, because a function is assigned to a variable. So a function can able to assign to a variable means other than the JavaScript, it is not possible. Because JavaScript is a dynamically typed programming language. Any type of the data you can able to assign, even the function type data also. Got it? So function without a name. In a situation to call a anonymous function, we require a name. So this function will be assigned to a variable. This type of function can be called as what type of function? Variable function also. So just a functional we can able to call, create some variable function means in your so team lead can be say about don't create a function, create a variable function. Simply create a function, remove the name and assign this function to a variable. Okay, example. Take this is the example where user name is equal to function. So here you are going to be write some logic array body. So each line must be inside of a function. Each line must be terminated with a semicolon. Don't be forget, which is the thumb rule. What you are going to write here, here is the logic. Okay. A function without a name is called anonymous function. But even though that is the anonymous, also still I need to call. For example, 10 members are there. Out of 10 members, can you please call me that so and so white shirt person or else a red color saree person? So something to be identification is required. So that's why we're assigning to the variable. We're calling this one as a variable defined functions. Variable defined functions are variable functions. Whatever it is, you can able to call. So in this case also it will be work. Yes, it will be work the same. Okay, working. Yes. So each time while you are practicing also, each time you are going to be changed. Na? Check for the details. Okay. Next, take a point. These anonymous functions functions are introduced in ECMAScript 5th version. Yes, 5th version. These anonymous functions are introduced in ECMAScript 5th version. Sir, are we using all these things in our real-time project? Yes. 90% your ReactJS applications are contain not 90-80% of functions only. Everything is the arrow functions and callback functions only. If I need to explain arrow functions, then you need to understand a function, parameterized and returnable, and then anonymous function. Okay, even the complex concept also very easily you can able to get it. No worries. Okay, next take a heading. Arrow function or lambda function. In mathematically, what is mean by lambda? How you are going to be write it? This is called lambda, and this is seems to be like arrow, na? That's why it is called as arrow function, or else mathematically this symbol is for the lambda. So that's why it can be called as either arrow function or a lambda function. The anonymous functions in a ECMAScript 6th version, ES 6th version, changed as arrow or a lambda function. Syntax. So take an anonymous function. How you are going to create an anonymous function? Function. This is our anonymous function now. Simply, this keyword has been removed. They added a arrow here. The prefix keyword is removed. Prefix function keyword is removed, and the suffix arrow keyword is added after the braces. That's it. Example, where user details or username is equal to braces, arrow, and curly braces. Here you are going to be write a logic. Here you are going to be write a logic. Done. So if you got stuck at any point, let me know, sir. Can you please go back the notes? Okay, I will go back the notes. So anonymous function in ECMAScript 6th version changed as arrow or lambda functions. So in the ECMAScript 5th versions, those are the anonymous functions. So those anonymous functions are changed in the ECMAScript 6th version as anonymous function to lambda function. Okay, can I go? So let us test it. What I'm doing, simply remove the function keyword add the arrow. Same. Check here. Then do you have any compilations issues? No compilations issue. Nothing. Go here. Refresh the page. So again, type something. Click. Able to see the name? Yes. Why they are changing? So simply they are upgrading. Now they want to more shortcut the code. Just for the shorthand the code. Just for the shorthand the code. There is no specific reason. Just they are improving the code wise. They are improving the code. Clear? Arrow functions. So anybody tell me, are you seeing the arrow function? Or how many arrow functions are you seeing in my page? Only one? Anywhere else?
Two.
Everyone, please. Everybody able to observe my screen or no?
On
Inside the
click.
div class. On
In
click
line number
equals.
13 also.
Line number 13 and tell me clearly. Whatever the number.
20.
Line
20.
number 13,
20.
line number
number
20. Okay. So if you know the subject also, no need worries to unmute yourself. Unmute and tell me if your members are still not doing. Okay. Line number 13 and line number 20. So here you are saying this one, correct? So this is called, if you observe here, this syntax is same as this syntax, correct? Can I replace this one with this syntax? Can I replace this syntax with this syntax? Yes. Clear my point? Okay, replace this syntax with this syntax. See here, from here to here. Replace this one, replace this. So now you no need to use this code. Let me comment this one. Control K C. Sir, how you press na? Control plus K plus C. So can I do like this? Yes. Now this is a anonymous function. Can I call anonymous functions? Yes. Earlier also your syntax is same. Now the called syntax also same. That's why can I able to replace? Yes, I can able to replace. So still it is working. Let me check now. A B C something B B B. Sure. So seems to be it is working. It is working. So these are the main advantages are using the arrow functions. The arrow and the anonymous functions are used as a callback functions. Okay. Simply. So instead of you calling a separate function, the function definition itself you are passing to this on click. The function and definition. This is the function definition, right? So this is the variable. This is the function definition. This function definition you can able to call in the on click action. Okay. So callback function, I got it, but can you explain clearly? Yes, we will see in a next session, so very clearly about a callback function. Okay, no worries. Is that clear? Functions, anonymous function, arrow function. Okay, all these type of functions again and again we are going to see in our project. Okay, take it as a callback function. So what is mean by callback function? So these callback functions are very simple, very easy, and a little tricky in the JavaScript. But the same callback functions are also there in the Java, .NET, PHP, Python, different languages. But a callback function will not call directly in other languages. Anybody having the identification that one? So what is the example of callback function in a .NET or Java, Python? Just add your thought if you know. What are the callback functions in the server side means anybody see the delegates in the C language also we're having the delegates in our bachelor's or BSc. So delegates are nothing but the callback functions in the server side. But JavaScript is a dynamically typed. You can able to pass a function as a parameter to another function. In general, only data type can be passed as a functional parameter. Okay, take that clear notes. In general, a data type only passed to a function as params. In general, a data type only passed as a parameter to a function. Okay. In a JavaScript, a function can be passed as a parameter. A function also can be passed as a parameter in a JavaScript. In a JavaScript only it is possible. If you pass a function as a parameter, is a callback function. It is called as callback function. If you pass the function as input parameter to a function, another function called as callback function. A function passed as input parameter to another function is nothing but a callback function. So purpose of callback functions, we will see. I will give the best examples. We are going to be filter the data, sort the data. Okay, we're going to be perform a callback, a number of callback operations. ReactJS is full of the callback functions only. JavaScript all array functions are the callback functions only. How to create a callback from the functions again from the scratch, I will show. Okay, what is the syntax? Means simple, a function having input parameter of another function. Okay, in JavaScript, arrow functions are used as callback functions. Can I use the normal function also? You can able to use the normal function also. That also you can able to add. Any type of function, you can able to use any type of a function. Okay. So here I'm having the on-click action. For that on-click action, in the expression binding, I am passing this one. So this logic will be called by the React people. So for this on-click, whenever it is creating the virtual DOM, at that virtual DOM, this logic will be called by the React people. Okay, we no need to worry. So is that clear? So next, anonymous function. How to create anonymous function? Anyone? Yeah, Neeraj. Just your thought. Anyone? Add your thoughts. Make it as an interactable session. So this is my function. I want to show some alert. That's it. Save this one. When this anonymous, when this self-invoking function or IIF immediately invoking function, these functions will be not called by anyone. These functions will be called automatically. See here, it is calling automatically or not. Let me refresh the system. So no one will call these functions. These functions will be called by itself. Whatever the logic here in the line number 33, it is the logic. Okay, take the notes. Self invoking function or immediately invoking function, IIF function. A function will be called by itself is called self-invoking function. When it will be called? this function will be called when the page loads. Whenever your JavaScript page is going to be loaded, at that time these functions will be called. Syntax, take this is the syntax. Braces, first write a anonymous function. So this is the function. Yes, this is enclosed inside of a one set of braces and one more set outside. This is the syntax. One set of braces at outside, one set of braces enclosed. See, this is the our anonymous function. This anonymous function is enclosed inside of a set of braces and outside one more set. This is our self-invoking function. Next one is the what type of function? Generator function. Next one is the type of generator function. Before going to generator function, anybody have any questions up to here? Maya, Neeraj, Rajendra, Riyatri, anyone? Sri Sailam, Suraj. Is that clear? Good. Clear for everyone?
Yes.
Sir,
Okay. So if you observe here, so this is about a function. Next, what type of a function? Generator function. So in a real time, there is a project necessity is there on this generator function? Not at all. Generator function means as of now in the real time perspective, you don't have any use case. If you don't have real time case, if you're not able to see na, then you may confuse. So even though JavaScript was the earlier JavaScript was developed by the person named called Brendan H. Okay, in the HTML session, I will give about the scientist names, who given the HTML, who given the CSS, who given the JavaScript. I will give the history about the web application. What is the application? Types of web applications. Okay, who invented? What is the purpose of HTML? Each one purpose. Next, what is the role of Microsoft? If you see like our JavaScript invention, it is like a simple film. One person is going to implement, second person is going to be come into the situation he implemented. Okay, who started now? That guy also completed. Now copyright issues came. Because of this copyright issue, still we are having the only one JavaScript language. There is no alternative JavaScripting language. Sir, TypeScript is there. TypeScript was developed on the top of the JavaScript only. Before the TypeScript, there is a language called one language. No, not a one language. I will tell you the name. Okay. So because of the competitions, these companies are. So what is the first name of the web browser? Okay. So how these companies are formed, where these applications are invented. Okay. All this introduction I will give you in one session. Okay. I will cover in the web sessions, design session. Next. So if you observe the code here, see here, let me remove this one. So now let me compare. Are you able to see the code by this movement here and here? Let me crop. So how this was simplified? See here. Instead of separate function is creating and calling here, this was simplified. Everyone taken this one or no? Please take it. People are texting like, sir, please wait to be take. Okay, please take everyone. Next, if you observe the code now, so are you feeling that this code is clear? Sir, still can we do any shorthand the code? So as of now, we are seeing the simple JavaScript only. Once a React, if I add now, as of now, it is the React oriented code. If I still add the more React syntaxes, this will be shortcut further. Okay, so here you are doing the data binding. Can we shortcut this data binding? Yes. So that is the concept of use state. Okay, take a heading, use state hook. Okay. So take just a heading, I will explain how it will be. So what you are trying to do? So here you are trying to fetch the data of two different controls. You are using this type of this type of inner HTML to bind the data. So the output of function name f name and l name add together and binding some data here. So this type of the binding, can I improvise? Yes. The purpose of the ReactJS and AngularJS, Vue.js, Kendo.js, all JS are came for to improvise the data binding. We are using the libraries and frameworks to improvise the data binding. Okay. So let us improve the data binding. So for this one, first create a one constant variable. Here assign the what is the name of the here full name, comma set full name. So what is the syntax? I will explain. Next, use state. By default, name is the empty. By default, this use state is the name is empty. Okay. Next. So which is the element is responsible to bind the data? So which is the element is responsible to bind the data? And if you observe in the line number 24, here you are going to display the name. Yes. See here. So now you can able to use the ReactJS data binding name. So what is the variable name? Full name. Simply add that full name. Now ID nothing is required. You can able to get rid of all these things. So this line of code is not required now. This will be changed to, see here, set full name. So now you no need to worry about this data binding. Okay. So this data binding will be take care by the set in full name. So earlier you are using the document dot get element by ID of the full name dot inner HTML. You are writing the code now. All these JavaScript libraries and frameworks are came for to improvise the data binding. The basic purpose of this one to improve the data binding. Instead of the developer to write a number of lines of code, these frameworks library will shorthand the codes. Okay. Simply now it will take care of the data binding. So yesterday one of the person called me, sir, I am also a trainer, I'm having the 3 years of so and so experience, so I also interested to take, can you assign the students? I'm saying that what level of experience I was good at. Now tell me about the use state. He started to explain. Use state is the functional hook. It was introduced in the 16.8 version to maintain the application state. Then I said, why you are maintaining the application state? Without a state, you can't able to do. No, without a state, you cannot able to do. You need to view something. So what is the something? Nothing. So this use state is not to maintain the application state. So use state is not a point of state management system. Everybody here also thinking about, if I say use state, people will be thinking about use state for the state management. It was not yet given by the any definition officially. Yes, use state is not for the state management. That guy is also saying something, saying the same. Use state, use it for the state management system. If you observe in the Google na, so whoever going with the experience na. So by giving those examples and definition, we will get it. Okay, he came with some fake experience to the interview. Okay, they are saying that one, even the freshers also. Those are the not good examples. ReactJS is only came recently now. So all are the bad examples we are seeing the Google. People are giving that's so they are saying the counter example. Earlier I am having the counter value as a 1. If I click on a button, now value as a 2. How it will be 2? Because earlier is a 1. I'm getting the previous value. Appending to the new value, it will become a 2. So we are maintaining the state of that variable, binding the value. That is not a correct. So use state not for the state management system. The state management system is not required for the web applications. Web applications, that to UI applications, state management system is not required. Okay. So, but what is the purpose of this use state? In the 10 minutes back, we have written some code to bind the data. Na? Okay. So instead of you to write such a big lines, state here use state is a predefined hook from the ReactJS in the 16.8 version to maintain and easy that type of data binding. Simply it will return a value. Even though if you hover over else, you can able to see it will return a stateful value to a function to update it. So this is the set, full name is the function. It will return a stateful value. They also saying that it return a stateful value, not a state management. What a stateful value here is? Stateful value here is, here you are going to perform some logic, appending language. This logic is assigned and passed to this function. What this function will be performed? Wherever the function is tied to the use state, this syntax. Wherever this full name is binded, those binding will be replicated. So it is not about a state management. Okay, this use state is the life cycle hook. It will be provided. Tell me, just now I told no, it will be provided. What is the thing? Stateful value. Now clear? Now clear Google example and my example on the state. Seems to be I can't able to hear you. They're saying something, Rajendra.
No. Yes.
Okay. Is that clear? Naveen, Neeraj, Riyatri, Srisaila, Srujal, Teja. Take a definition.
When are we going to use state in general?
So every day in the ReactJS, we are going to be use state always for the data binding. If you want to bind the data, we need to be use this use state. Okay, data binding is represented by the expressions. So these use state is to get the information and perform a certain logic and bind the data. It will return a stateful value. It will return a stateful value. So use state used to return a stateful value. If you want, you can able to extend from a function output. Use state will be return a stateful value from a function output. That's it. This use state is used to bind the data. The basic purpose of use state is came to perform certain logic. After that, on if you want to bind the data, writing document.get element by so and so, it will be shorthand by the use state. So now clear about Google example, my example. So in the real time, the way you need to be see the code will be totally different. It's not about something. Okay, so tomorrow onwards, so that's why I'm every day saying that one. My students will be give the different and exact real-time definitions. It will return a stateful value from a output of a function. If you want to bind some data after certain logic, how you are going to bind? Instead of you to write a JavaScript to multiple lines of a code, simply I will create a one state variable and then assign that state variable data to a state variable binding the data. Okay, steps to involve. Step number 1. So this is the exact example. Okay, so that guy, that trainer who maybe he said, "No, I also will be trying." So number of trainers are there like this only. They have 1 or 2 experience on the ReactJS. They are trying to explain. So hook is nothing but to perform a logic. So types are hooks. So on so hook. This use, see the students, this use state is to maintain the state management. See how I maintain the state management. Where you are maintaining the state management. State management concept is nothing in a UI technologies. Not at all is there. Even though server technologies, anybody from the .NET, anybody here from the .NET? I hope Neeraj, you are from .NET, right? Rajendra, yeah, Rajendra also is there. So if you observe the ASPX pages, in the ASPX pages, you are going to maintain the state management. So there also state management will not at all possible. The state management will become from the hidden variable. Input type hidden. We will see those hidden variables later. Input type hidden. Input type hidden variables will be send a data from UI to ASPX pages when you click on any action. So rendering of ASPX pages are too costly. Always it will be send a number of hidden variable from the UI to server side. That's why we are going a different approach called MVC. Step number 1, import use state from where we need to be import. See here, once you type use state here, automatically it will import from React. Take this one. This is the step number 1. Step number 2, create a state variable. Sir, how many state variables you can able to create a multiple? What is the syntax? Constant full name comma set full name is equal to use state. Here initialize the value. Initial value. Here you need to initialize the value. So if it is my full name, I need to set some value now. That is the initial value. You want to see how to set initial value? See here. See here. So let me add VKC. Go on save. See, able to see the VKC data binding? Yes. So to initialize some values. Okay. So this is the purpose. Next, wherever you want to bind some value to a full name, na, there you need to use the set function. Here, full name is a variable to get the data, and set full name is a callback function. This is the callback function. All hooks are the callback function. Is a callback to function to bind data to full name. This is the callback function to bind data to your full name. Okay, how it will be done? I will explain. Next, use expression binding to bind the full name value. Okay, see here, I'm giving the small test about our subject with exact real-time case. Okay, that too avoiding that too I'm not giving the Google statements. Those are not correct statements. These are used for the data binding, how they are seeing the state management. Now clear? We are thinking about this for the state management. This is the example expression. Simple 3 steps. Okay, So what it will do now React? So here you are importing, it is completed. Next, creating the variable, assign the initial value, completed. Next, you need to assign the value, consume the value. Okay, this value will be held by this variable. This variable is binding here. Whenever you are sending this value to using this callback function, this will be update the value which is inside of the full name. Once this value is updated, the full name wherever it is consumed, the state of that variable will be updated. So now tell me, what is the definition of the use state? Yes, not only the exact definition just now I given. So whatever you understand in this 15 or 20 minutes, and based on that, give a definition. What is the or else use of this use state? Definition, or what is the use of use state?
Is used to bind the data.
Use state used to bind the variable data. Okay.
It will be return the value from the function output.
It return the state value.
Yeah,
Mhm. So return the stateful value from a function output. Stateful value from this function output. So everyone come up with the definition. Tell me now. Tell me. So it will return the what type of value?
stateful.
Everyone, unmute yourself and let me know. Use state used to return. Neeraj,
State.
Samrat, Srisailam, Srujal, Teja. Everyone, unmute yourself. Tell me the definition again. Same definition. Use state used to return.
Stateful value.
Yes, yes. So members are not answering if you got it or no. So use state used to bind the variable state. Variable state. This is about our use state. So still we can able to shorthand this code by using the one more different hook. So all this will be come in our regular sessions. Okay. All this will be coming under one by one, one by one. Okay, then. So that's it for today's session. What have discussed today? So today we have seen the what is the first one? Anonymous function. Next, ROR lambda function. Next, callback function. Next, and important one is the use state hook. So already in the real-time subject, people are thinking still these are the complexity. Are you feeling these are the complex? So take this one as a lab. Okay. So Monday onwards we'll have a. I mean already we're started with the regular sessions. Monday onwards will be give a separate link. I will text you. Okay.
Sir, I have a small doubt.
Yeah.
Once,
Himaja.
can you go back to the Visual Studio Code?
Sure.
Yeah. So there, F name and L name, there also we are using the data binding. So can we use the use state for those also?
Okay, if I use the use state where I need to set this value. So here you need to set the value here. So if I use the use state here to where I need to set the value. Okay,
Okay.
but
Yeah. Okay, sir.
to get a value here, your question is can we shorthand? Earlier it is the setting a value, we're having a shorthand by using the
Yeah.
use state concept. Can we able to shorthand
Yeah.
this get a value? Yes, we can able to get a value. Okay, so those get a value I will tell in the next coming sessions. Okay, clear your doubt?
Oh.
So this is for the setting the
Yeah. Yeah.
value I using the state use state concept. So this is for the get
Oh,
and bind the values. Okay,
okay. So use state is specifically to set a value, right?
correct, that's it, to maintain the data binding.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, sir.
Hello.
Okay, yes Niras, now I can hear.
Yes, sir. Sir, I was asking that previously on the click button we have used a function and we have
Yes.
used callback function. Before using directly that function,
Hmm.
we have put that function into a callback function.
Hmm.
But now while writing this, yes, this screen, we are using the callback function,
We
no?
are using
On
this function here. So this
yes,
function is now converted as this function. Okay. Yes. So still we will shorthand this code. In the real time we were
no,
not going to be right. Yeah, yeah.
we are
That is
not
not a question. Yes, tell me your
directly
question.
we are not directly calling it, no, by the name of it, but we are calling it inside our one arrow function.
Yes. A
Did you
function is
get me?
represented by any one type of a function. Definitely a function is required. Okay. Arrow function is required. So what is the purpose of a function? To perform a logic. So I need to tell my code this is the logic or not. If I'm not able to tell my code this is not a logic, so you are saying that one star, can I remove this one? No. Okay, sir, can I remove
No,
that
no,
one? No.
no, sir. I am not saying that to remove.
You are not
I'm
saying
saying
about remove, you are saying that one still our logic is right in inside of the arrow function. Yes, we need to be right inside a function only. Okay,
okay.
any confusion still?
Uh, Sir, this is our function only. This arrow
This is
function
our
is
function only.
but previously what we were doing is we were calling the function
In the
inside an
previously we
arrow.
are creating a function, we are calling that one. Okay, and again we change that function and directly we're calling the data here. Tell me, Nick.
Okay. We have the previous screen, sir.
Hmm.
Can we do full size?
So here you are created a function. You are calling that function here.
Yes, sir. But we are calling it inside an arrow function. We are not calling it directly, no.
Yes.
So can't we call on click then directly that user full name?
No, you can't call it. This is the syntax.
We are calling it inside in another arrow function.
Yes.
But while calling directly, we are just
Yes,
writing
yes.
the function.
Try it that one also. I got your case. Once a try to call without arrow function directly and check it what will happen. Okay. There is a reason we're in calling that inside of arrow function. Once try it, you will get the answer. Okay. Try it and tell me in the Monday session. So if you call like this, what will happen? So this is the
Directly.
function, correct? So if I instead of this function is calling inside of arrow, what will happen if I call at outside? Try it and let us know. Okay.
Okay.
So that's it for today. Anybody has the still doubts? Let me know.